is Socrates. He's on the move, and they're going to look for Socrates in the corner. Touchdown!
Rowan heading for the touchpad with the lead, and the Profs will take the men's 400-yard freestyle relay.
Andrews will be in shotgun. He takes the snap, makes the handoff. He'll throw it down the left sideline. He's going to wind up a receiver. He's got the touchdown.
Open, moving in. Sends one on goal, and he scores!
And it is a power play goal!
Back to pass, middle of the field. The catch is made by Britt. She's off to the races at the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. Britt is in for the score.
Back on in, here's Yoxon. Yoxon to the backhand, trying to go to the front, makes the move and shot, and he scores!
Smith delivers. That's it back toward the mound. Weiss has it in short. He steps on second, and the ball game is over. Massapequa Coast has won the 2023 New York State Little League Baseball Championship.
Live from Great Kills Little League in Staten Island, New York, the PDF Sports Network is proud to welcome you into coverage of the 2024 New York State Little League Baseball Championship. On this first day of pool play, we have our third game of the day as the action shifts over to Great Kills for a matchup between Penfield Little League and Auburn Little League. Good evening, everybody. My name is Joe Foreman, and as I was last year, I am joined on the call by my broadcast partner, Nick Bavona. First and foremost, Nick, welcome back. It was a blast covering this last year, and we look forward to a lot more excitement here in pool play in the year 2024, this being our first action over at Great Kills.
Oh, Joe, I don't want to speak for myself, but I've certainly had these dates marked on my calendar since our tournament ended last season with Massapequa Coast winning the tournament overall. And Massapequa Coast, we'll get to it a little bit, very good start to their round-robin play with a victory against North Shore in the first game of pool play here today. But, Joe, now on this side of the bracket, a very interesting bracket that we do have, as we might have National Anthem maybe in a couple minutes. There is an announcement being made. But 3 new teams where we'll have in this side of the pool, as well as the one returning team, that being Penfield from last year's tournament. So a lot of unpredictability going on this side of the bracket. We'll see how that leads into tonight's games, and then going into tomorrow when these 4 teams will meet again in different matchups.
And we spoke about it earlier during the first game I covered today. That game was our opener between North Shore and Massapequa Coast. And as you touched on, Nick, last year's champion, Massapequa Coast, did play earlier today, and they did win big as they defeated North Shore by a final of 10-3. They racked up 19 hits in that game. Very impressive showing for them. Last year, if I'm not mistaken, Penfield was in their bracket. Penfield came up short against Massapequa Coast when those two teams met, and Penfield ultimately was eliminated during pool play. They are the only team in this bracket that we've gotten a look at before. Obviously, with the roster turnover and coaching staff changes on many of these teams, we're not going to see the same players. So it's very, very possible that Penfield could emerge from pool play this year as one of the powerhouses. We simply don't know, and that lends to what you said, Nick. Plenty of unpredictability on this side of the bracket for us. As for our audience back home and in the live chat specifically, they are going to have their opinions, and of course, we will interact with them all night long. But for now, player introductions and the national anthem are set to begin. We will turn it over to the best Bob Shepard impersonator that I have heard on public address as starting lineups are introduced. When we come back, first pitch between Auburn Little League and Penfield Little League.
Leading off in center field, number 55, Bentley Lanning. Number 55. At shortstop, number 22, Zeke Zalben. Giano Ruschio, number 23. At third base, number 13, Conan Ashby, number 13. At second base, number 10, Seth Portapillo, number 10. Catching number 3, Joey Villano, number 3. At first base, number 24, Bo Buchanan, number 24. In right field, number 4, Parker Smith. Number 4. In left field, number 8, Evan Boulevard. Number 8. Designated hitter, number 2, Landon Blanchfield. Number 2. Designated hitter, number 44, Tanner Guarino. Number 44. Designated hitter, number 12, Lucas Fitzgerald. Number 12. And designated hitter, number 28, Camden Marinka. Number 28. The coaches, Portofilo and Villano. And the manager, Rustio. And for Penfield, leading off, the designated hitter, number 6, CJ Spadaforo, number 6. At third base, number 27, Noah Lamuti, number 27. At first base, number 14, Noah Bolt, number 14. Designated hitter, number 28, Ryan Sullivan, number 28. Pitching, number 99, Braden Schuzik, number 99. At shortstop, number 10, Grayson McCormick, number 10. At second base, number 1, Matteo Natale, number 1. In center field, number 2, Spencer Campe, number 2. In right field, number 12, Ambrose Valentini, number 12. Designated hitter, number 22, Jack Clark, number 22. Designated hitter, number 13, Louis Sapere, number 13. Catcher, number 15, Quinn Doherty. And in left field, number 3, Will Bilofsky, number 3. The coaches, Jason Bolt and Matt Bilofsky. And the manager of Penfield, Andrew Struzik. And now, ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise? And please show your pride in our country by removing your hats and singing along to our national anthem.
And we're back from Great Kills Little League in Staten Island. This is PDF Sports Network coverage of the 2024 New York State Little League Baseball Championship. This Game 3 on day 1 of pool play features Penfield Little League, which will be the home team tonight, taking on Auburn Little League. Once again, my name is Joe Foreman, alongside my broadcast partner, Nick Bavona. And Nick, obviously, Penfield in the field first. We did get the starting lineups over public address, but we'll go through those once more. Braden Struzik takes the mound for Penfield in this first inning. Nick, you have the lineup he will face.
And for Auburn, they'll lead off with center fielder number 55, Bentley Lanning. Batting second is the shortstop number 22, Zeke Zalbin. Batting third is his counter pitcher, number 23, Gianno Ruscio. Batting fourth is the third baseman, number 13, Cohen Ashby. Batting fifth, the second baseman, number 10, Seth Portapillo. Batting sixth, the catcher, number 3, Joey Villano. Seventh, the first baseman, number 24, Bo Buchanan. Eighth, the right fielder, number 4, Parker Smith. Batting ninth, the left fielder, number 8, Evan Bola. Batting 10th, the extra hitter, number 2, Landon Blanchfield. 11th, extra hitter, number 44, Tanner Garino. Batting 12th is number 12, Lucas Fitzgerald. And lastly, number 28, Cam Marinka.
It is so awkward in your first call to say batting ninth, batting 10th, batting 11th.
It was throwing me off for a second.
And so on, as the first pitch of the game is chopped to short. That is handled there by McCormick.
And he's safe.
And the runner beats the throw by just a half a step. And Bentley Lanning legs out an infield hit to open up the game.
And a good start for this game with that leadoff infield single. So a good start for Auburn getting that first runner on. Nice base running from Lanley. And a tough play at short right there for McCormick. Had to go deep in the hole to try to make the play. Just was not successful in the attempt.
Well, Nick, unlike South Shore, the scoreboard is over our shoulder. Now, off of memory last year, as that's popped up, foul ground, playable, and off the fence. Do they have the pitch count up there, Nick?
The pitch count was up there last year.
Okay, it's up there somewhere. I can't see it.
It is. So you see where it says H and V?
Yes.
That's the pitch count.
Got it.
Count now 0-1 to Zalbin. Actually, correction, the count is 1-2.
That pitch in for a called strike. It does make quite the difference having the scoreboard to help you. Here comes the 1-2. And that bounces to the backstop, which will allow Lanning to advance to second base.
So an opportunity now for Zalbin with a single here into the outfield. Could bring home Lanning to get the first run of this game for Auburn.
Comes the 2-2, and that's fouled away. And Nick, we spoke about it last year. Wild pitches, walks, passed balls, errors. Anything that affords runners extra bases often proves costly later in games.
And especially, I'll make my point in one moment, as the count now goes 3-2. Another big part is also pitch counts for some of these pitchers, because now as we know that some of these pitchers will have some days of rest depending on what their pitch number total is at the end of their outing. So that plays another key factor in a tournament like this.
And Zeke Zalbin works out the walk. So a good at-bat for Zalbin, and just like that, Auburn has 2 on with nobody out.
And how about this for Gianno Ruscio? A chance to add to his own cause and get the first runs of this game. First and second, still nobody out, so an early jam right here for Struzik.
I said it earlier in the day during our first game. You learn a lot about a pitcher based upon how they perform with men on base in high-pressure situations. As that ball's hit well to straightaway center, it's cut off in the gap, bobbled for a moment, and that small bobble will allow the run to score. Lanning is in. Going first to third is Zalbin, and it's an RBI single for Gianno Ruscio, and that will put Auburn ahead 1-0.
A great start this game for Auburn. They've gotten some good, clean contact early on. That infield single now. Ruscio right there with that RBI hit into right center field. And a great chance now to add to this lead early on. It's 1-0 Auburn.
Nick, do you think the run scores were it not for the bobble?
Run scores no matter what.
I agree with you. So an RBI for Ruscio on the play, and that will bring up Cohen Ashby. Can't ask for a much better start if you're Auburn here. And calling time was Ashby.
Quick look at that last RBI single for Ruscio, bringing home the game's first run.
That pitch misses.
Count now going to 1-1.
And we've seen early in this game, Struzik has been a bit wild at times. And that ball's crushed deep left field. Forget it. That is a 3-run bomb off the bat of Cohen Ashby. The Auburn contingent to our left is loving it, and they are up 4 runs in the opening inning.
Those sirens are going off, Joe, but right to our left. How about this start? Cohen Ashby makes sense while he's in that cleanup spot. A long shot into left field, and what a start for this Auburn Little League team. An early 4 spot in this first inning, and they've jumped out early to start this one.
A 3-run shot off the bat of Ashby. Still nobody out here in the opening half inning. And it's now a 4-run ball game as Auburn has jumped ahead 4-0. And Nick, that's as big of a swing as we've seen in game this year. And we had a pretty long home run earlier to dead center. That one cleared the fence by at least 30 feet over that yellow line.
And we saw also an opposite field home run as well at South Shore today. But that was a no-doubter for off the bat of Ashby.
That was bomb. As the first pitch to Seth Portapillo misses for ball 1.
Our viewers got to look at the home run by Ashby right there. Had to go quickly with the camera work trying to get at least a glimpse of the ball going over the fence.
Well, as the chat said, Nick, that ball was cranked. And I think that's a fair description of that last home run.
Wonder if that's going to do it any justice saying it was cranked.
We had some rocket ship emojis and a lot of happy Auburn fans in the live chat. Fans to our left loved it as well. The good news is it's very early. A lot of baseball left to be played.
I think for Penfield, I think more than ever, and I was going to say, and that bat, just trying to get outs in the inning can bring some confidence back to your entire team, but Portapillo gets hit on the pitch, so now I'll bring up Joey Villano.
So far, 5 straight hitters have reached for Auburn.
And the pitch count up there, we got 15 so far already in the inning for Struzik.
And Nick, that's more good news, if there is any thus far on the Penfield side. Only 15 pitches thrown. Struzik can find his way, and if he can get out of this inning, he's on track if he can get out of this, throwing no more than maybe 10 or 15 more.
Auburn so far has connected on some couple first pitches. They have not hesitated to swing the bat.
They're not chasing bad pitches either, Nick,
Right.
and that definitely makes it much more difficult on the mound for any pitcher.
Ryan Sullivan right now is warming up to our left for Penfield. The count now goes 2-0.
And I mentioned it earlier when we were watching our first game of the day, but when pitchers begin to miss badly, that's when there's cause for concern. That pitch is in for a strike.
Obviously, something that could also help your confidence, maybe getting a double play ball, but as we know, especially at this type of field, it is very tough to turn that double play ball.
We had a 1-4-3 double play in the first game today. Dave Pizzuto and I covered Game 1 between Massapequa Coast and North Shore. The second game between EGC and South Shore covered by Dave, along with Aaron Cohen. As that's hit out to shallow center, and that's down for a base hit. No throw incoming from Camp in center, and the line keeps moving as 6 straight Auburn hitters reach, and that will do it for Struzik on the bump.
Once again, another great at-bat from Villano this time around. Worked into 2-2, was able to find a pitch and get it in to right center field for that base hit. And now early pitching change for Penfield coming up. They really could use some big outs right here from Ryan Sullivan.
You said it, Nick. Big outs needed in this spot. But as I said, it is so early. If you can limit the damage to 4, you have 18 outs to play with. That's plenty of time. That being said, it looks like Penfield is going to have a conference in the outfield. I would presume that is Penfield manager Andy Struzik leading that conference right now, And I'm sure he's saying a lot of what we're saying, Nick. There is plenty of time left in this game. That being said, Auburn's looking pretty good.
Right. And also, think about this, too. It's not only is there a lot of time in this game, there's still a lot of time to make up if you were to lose this first game today. There's still 2 games left in round-robin play for you to win and make sure that you can get to that spot where on Friday you're potentially one of those last 4 teams in to the semifinals, and then hopefully, if you win, move on to the championship game on Saturday. So still a lot of time for Penfield, but as you mentioned, Joe, Auburn's been off to a red-hot start. First 6 batters have reached base. They've got 3 hits in this inning, and the biggest one being that home run to left field by Ashby.
To recap the inning, for the visitors, Lanning infield single to lead things off. Zalbin then walked. Ruscio RBI single. He came around to score along with Zalbin on the Cohen-Ashby 3-run homer to left. Seth Portopilo was hit by a pitch, and Joey Villano delivered a single that chased Braden Struzik from the game.
So I had my math wrong. That's their 4th hit of the inning. I thought I was missing one.
That's quite all right. We've been out in the heat for quite some time today. Me a bit more so.
Yeah, you have more of an excuse than me when it comes to the heat getting to you. I don't know what excuse I can realistically make for missing that 1 hit. But now coming up in the spot now with a new pitcher in Evan Sullivan, Bo Buchanan will have first and second. Still nobody out in the inning. Penfield really needs some outs right here.
You said it before, Nick. Ryan Sullivan coming in, looking to deliver in a big way for Penfield on the mound as he falls behind 1-0 against Buchanan. And that sliced the other way toward first. And stepping on the bag with plenty of time is the first baseman, Bolt, for out number 1.
Well, that's what Penfield needed to at least get an out right there. But a good, productive at-bat nonetheless from Buchanan. He moves both runners up into scoring position. So now second and third for the right fielder, Parker Smith now.
Infield at normal depth for Penfield. The only play here would be to first, and they don't have a play there. And that's just a tough break for Sullivan and Penfield.
That was just pretty much no man's land right there, Joe. That one, a dribbler down the third base line. Realistically, would have to have been a very, very quick throw from Lemuti and just could not get it done. Would not have been able to get them out at first base. Realistically, his only play maybe was to home, but Auburn takes advantage, and they now have a 5-0 lead.
Parker Smith, the beneficiary there on that infield dribbler. In to score was Portopilo with the 5th Auburn run. And he made a great read over at third to break for the plate immediately. He knew where the infielders were on that softly hit ground ball. And now Evan Bulla is the batter. He shows bunt and takes a strike.
Second look at that last RBI hit right there down the third base line for Smith. And once again, nothing Lemuti realistically could have done right there. Just a tough play down that third base line.
He did all he could with it.
The good heads-up play that he did make, though, was holding on to the ball.
Yes.
Because some players do make that mistake of throwing the ball, even if the runner is clearly going to be safe. So he did a great job of at least holding on to it and avoid maybe even further damage.
That pitch in for a called strike to even up the count at 2. Obviously, you would have loved to limit the damage to 4. But I think giving up just 1 more after inheriting 2 base runners, not a bad outcome. Sullivan has the strikeout of Bulla for out number 2.
Well, they got him maybe on a little bit of a breaking ball, as Bulla had to step out in front to get that one. So huge strikeout for Sullivan to get the second out. It'll be up to Landon Blanchfield to extend the inning for Auburn.
Blanchfield, one of 4 straight extra hitters in this Auburn lineup. He gets ahead 1-0. Blanchfield, the 10th hitter to the plate in this first half inning. And that runs inside.
Auburn early on tried to make a case to out-hit maybe what Massapequa Coast, we mentioned earlier on, did today with that 19-hit performance in the first game of round-robin play.
That skips in for ball 3. And if you're Sullivan, you hate to lose a batter to a walk with 2 outs in the inning down toward the bottom of the lineup. Obviously, all of these players are all-stars as that pitch is in for a strike, but you don't want to give away base runners in that bottom third of the order.
And especially if you were to walk right here, Blanchfield, you're loading the bases for Auburn. And that's exactly what's going to happen. It's a walk right there to load the bases.
It's not often you can get away with multiple walks and a hit batter in the same inning. And obviously, Auburn has done a good job making Penfield pay thus far, but with the bases loaded now, Tanner Garino can really make it hurt with a base hit here.
He took a big swing and a miss on that one, Joe. Maybe trying to put an early exclamation point into this game.
Comes the 0-1. That's down and in.
In a couple games last year in the tournament, where especially for South Shore, where they would have a couple of walk-off mercy rule wins. So Auburn maybe, entering that territory early on with a 5-0 lead.
Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sullivan 1 big pitch away from stranding the bases loaded, and that's chopped foul. Count remains 1-2. And that's sliced toward the hole. Diving, stop at second, throw to first, wide of the bag, and it gets away. That will score 2 runs. And that's going to be an infield single off the bat of Tanner Garino, and nearly making a tremendous play over at second base was Matteo Natali.
Natali gave it all of his effort on that one. Really loved the effort to make that play, but a very wide throw. He tried his best to make that throw, and it's not an easy throw whatsoever to get that one off of your knees, trying to get it to first base. And also in that happening, it hit the runner, Garino, so it allowed that second run to potentially score. So Auburn catches a nice break right there, now has a 7-0 lead.
That one really hurts if you're Penfield. Looked like they were about to get out of the inning behind a fantastic play, and now a wild pitch is lodged in the padding. And depending on the ground rules, that could be a dead ball in some situations. It was not here.
Looks like it was. After this pitch, will show the replay.
That's sliced foul.
See right here with Natali. Great play. But that's one where on your knees you're trying to make that throw quickly in time to get the runner out at first. And just great heads-up base running overall to get that runner in. There's another wild pitch.
Base runners wisely holding in that spot, by my estimation anyway. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that runs it full.
Pitch count is correct. Sullivan's now reached 22 since coming in out of relief. In danger of loading the bases once again.
Auburn will have batted around if Fitzgerald can reach, and he will, as that sails straight to the padding behind home plate. Another walk. And in this inning, that's the 4th base on balls, perhaps the 3rd. My handwriting is not good, Nick. I think it's the 3rd plus a hit batter.
And now we'll have Cam Marinka coming up. So Auburn has gotten all 13 of their batters up in this first inning. And if you're an Auburn fan, you've got to have loved what you've seen so far from your team to start off this round-robin play.
They've looked great. As that pitch is in for strike 1 to Marinka.
And what they've done really good is the first couple batters took a couple, did not really hesitate to swing at the pitches and were able to get some hits. The latter half of their lineup has been taking pitches and has worked some of these walks, as Marinka is now down the count 0-2.
He chased there and was frustrated with himself after that swing. Bases loaded, 2 outs, the count 0-2, and that will get Penfield out of the inning as Marinka strikes out swinging to retire the side. But not before Auburn scores 7 times in the opening half inning. The big blow, a 3-run homer by Cohen Ashby. The visitors lead it 7-0 with Penfield coming to bat for the first time after this break.
Awards and Trophy Center is proud to sponsor this week's New York State Little League Championship. Located at 1600 Highland Boulevard on Staten Island, we pride ourselves in not only building trophies, but building relationships. as we service our community and treat you like family. Your event and its achievements deserve the best. That's why Country Awards and Trophy Center is ready to work with all of our clients to make your event a memorable one. With awards, trophies, and gifts that make a lasting impression. Come see why we love our customers and they love us. Visit us today.
And we are back from Great Kills Little League, where Auburn has gone up 7 runs in the first half inning against Penfield, and they did it behind 3 walks, a hit batter, and 6 base hits. One of those, a big 3-run homer, one of the longest that we've seen in 2 years covering the New York State Little League Baseball Championship.
And that one came off the bat of Cohen Ashby. Wondering, Joe, maybe if he'll participate in the home run derby on Wednesday. After that shot he did today, he might have to. But if you're an Auburn fan, you got to love what you've seen so far from your team. Those 6 hits, you mentioned also the walks that they were able to attribute to that lineup in that first inning, and 7 runs overall. Could not have asked for a better start. Getting all 13 of your batters up in that inning is also a huge plus for this team, because now they'll have the top of the lineup leading off the top of the second inning.
You can't do much better than that at the plate, Nick, but we haven't gotten a look at this Penfield team yet. They're going to need to score at least 7 in this one, and they will be tasked with doing that against Gianno Ruscio. Ruscio, the number 3 hitter and starting pitcher for Auburn. His first pitch on its way, and that sails high for ball 1.
Ruscio got everything started for Auburn with that RBI single.
CJ Spadafora, the leadoff hitter for Penfield, the left-handed bat, as he swings and misses to even up the count at 1. And the 1-1 breaks around the plate for ball 2.
And Penfield's best strategy might be in this inning so far, maybe work some pitches and try to make an opportunity to swing at something at a mistake pitch. The count now goes to 2-2.
Well, if you're Penfield, you have to put together good at-bats. Try and force Auburn to dig deep into the pitching depth and prolong this game. 2-2 coming, and that swung on and missed for strike 3.
Spadafora chasing a fastball high on that one. Nice first strikeout for Ruscio right there. Guy out number 1.
Noah Lamuti, the batter. Starting third baseman, wears number 27 for Penfield. And he takes a letter-high strike. Comes the 0-1. That breaks down and away.
Joe, we've got to also mention South. How about the game number 2 they have at round robin play today? South Shore, 3 runs in the top of the 6th inning, trailing 3-1. They come back to beat East Greenbush Castleton 4-3. It start round robin play 1-0.
Well, Nick, Staten Island faithful, we're very happy about that one, as it looks like Lamuti just got under that a bit, and the catch is made on the move out in left field by Bulla for out number 2.
You're right, Joe. Just looked like he maybe got a little bit under on that one. Nice play from Bulla to get the second out. But, yeah, as you mentioned, South Shore was the away team in that game, but they pretty much were the home team, if you think about it, being in their home complex. Getting a huge win against an East Greenbush Castleton team that was just in the finals last season, and you and I will get to call the rematch of that finals tomorrow night.
Prime time, don't miss it. East Greenbush Castleton meets Massapequa Coast right here on the PDF Sports Network tomorrow night over at South Shore Little League. And Nick, for you and I, this is the last time that we are going to see this pod, at least together.
Right.
I will be here, I think it's on Thursday. I have double duty. I'm calling both the early games and the late games on Thursday. So I'm going 4 games deep on Thursday.
It's going to be a very long day, but it will be a very productive one.
That ball's chopped foul. At the plate here is Noah Bolt. The count on Bolt, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Nick, I don't want to jinx it, but I have not confused left and right today.
I didn't want to bring it up.
And that's grounded through the right side for a base hit with the emphasis on right side. And Noah Bolt has the first Penfield hit.
Well, I think if you're Penfield, you need, I don't want to give a punt away, but you want that type of a spark, and Bolt gave him that spark with that 2-out single.
Okay, Nick Durst.
I said I didn't want to, but I did it anyway.
You did it. That pitch in for a strike. Ryan Sullivan, the batter.
Nick will be on the call for Game 1 tomorrow here at Great Kills.
Tomorrow here at Great Kills, we have Aaron and Nick, Game 1. Then we have Aaron and Nick, Bavona, Game 2.
I'll be 3 games deep tomorrow.
I'll be waiting for you over at South Shore tomorrow night.
Let's just hope I get there.
That's chopped to second, and the throw to first is over with plenty of time to retire the side. One base runner in the inning for Penfield on the Noah Bolt ground ball single, but he is stranded, and we are through 1 with Auburn leading 7-0.
Attention local businesses and professionals. Isn't it time to elevate your game? Now you can advertise your business or product on PDF Sports Network. Your ad will appear on all of our broadcasts, including this one. Don't have a commercial? We'll make one for you, absolutely free. What better way to showcase your product and brand while supporting the best local sports, teams, and leagues? Call now at 732-723-8189 or visit us at pdfsportsnet.com.
And we are back from Great Kills Little League, where Auburn leads Penfield by a score of 7-0. And Nick, if you're Penfield, you have to start here as if it's a new ball game. I know it's a 7-run deficit, but you can't change your approach this early in the game. You have to make sure now that you limit Auburn to zeros and slowly work your way back in it. And if you're Auburn, after scoring 7 in the first, to get a relatively quick inning from your starting pitcher is exactly what you were looking for.
And I think now, I don't want to look too early ahead for this Auburn team, but I mentioned earlier about the pitch count and how that could play a factor into this tournament. If Auburn maybe was able to get a mercy rule win, they have to at least go 4 innings to get that win. But if they're able to do so, Joe, that could realistically save them for the rest of this tournament for their starter in Ruscio. So Ruscio could realistically, if they're able to get that win, it is still looking very early ahead. Penfield obviously is going to try to make sure that doesn't happen. But if you're Auburn, I'm wondering if maybe that's going to try to be their strategy for the next couple of innings.
We will see. And you said it before, Nick. All 13 hitters for Auburn came to the plate in that first inning. And it's back to the top of the order with Bentley Lanning. Lanning reached on an infield single in the first, and he looks at a strike.
He went first pitch swinging on that infield single as well.
And that really set the tone for the inning, didn't it? He legged it out, set the table, got on to get things started. And if they get that out at first, the inning could unfold very differently. You just never know how that leadoff base runner weighs on a pitcher, as that's hit well the other way, but well foul. Count 1-2. Pitch on its way. That misses outside. Count even at 2. That runs in for ball 3. And Nick, I think it goes without saying, you can't lose the leadoff man to a walk after getting ahead 1-2.
Yeah, and Lanning's done a great job so far. That first at bat I mentioned, one pitch, got a single, has now worked at full here.
And that one hurts. If you're Penfield, Sullivan was in the driver's seat, but another good at bat for this Auburn team, and this time Lanning reaches on a walk.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, is that the 5th walk now forced by that Auburn lineup?
4th walk plus a hit batter.
Okay.
Scorecards getting awfully crowded on the Auburn side. A lot of base runners. The digital scorecard isn't looking so bad right now.
I heard your conversation with Dave early on about digital scorecards. I'm also of the notion that I prefer doing it in the book.
I was telling Dave earlier This generation of players, the generation out there on the field right now, in all likelihood, will have never completed a scorecard by hand.
Right.
As the runner does advance on what will go down as a wild pitch, Nick.
Pass ball.
Pass ball? Okay.
So now early 2-0 count. Now you have first base open.
Walks, wild pitches, passed balls, hit batters always come back to get you.
And it's certainly plaguing Penfield so far early in this game. Auburn looking to now add to their lead, already up 7.
That's in for a strike. Count 3-1 now. Of course, first base now open. You'd like to leave that base open for Cohen Ashby if you need it, as that swung on and missed for strike 2.
So we saw the last at bat where Sullivan was up in the count, worked the walk. Now he's worked back from this count, 3-0 now to 3-2.
Payoff pitch, runs high and inside, as Auburn had to duck out of the way, and he's on with the second walk of the inning.
That's the second time in the inning where Sullivan has had that 3-2 pitch, has tried to gone inside to try to maybe get a strikeout, but both batters have had to lean out of the way to avoid getting hit by the pitch. And I think that will lead to a pitching change, and it will.
And indeed it will. Sullivan heading back to the dugout.
It'll be Grayson McCormick coming on from shortstop onto the mound.
All right, so with that, we'll step aside and take a quick break. McCormick will get warm. The first batter he will face is Gianno Ruscio when we come back here on the PDF Sports Network. And we're back from Great Kills, where Gianno Ruscio will be the batter. Ruscio 1 for 1 with a single, and he takes a strike.
He faces Grayson McCormick, as I mentioned, was the shortstop to start this game, is now on the mound. And replacing him at shortstop is Louis Sapir.
And McCormick very quickly gets ahead 0-2.
And you get the sense, Joe, that this is an important out for Penfield right here. They don't want to have the damage even furthered with first and second, still nobody out.
That's hit sharply on the ground to second. Flip to the shortstop covering for 1, and that's all they'll get. As the runner does go from second to third, that's Lanning. Sullivan forced out at second, and Ruscio reaches on the fielder's choice.
I like the play right there from Sapir. Maybe could have made that throw to first. Probably would not have been in time, but he held on to the ball and checked the runner at third to ensure that he would not score. So a fielder's choice first out right there for Penfield. Count goes to 1-0 for Cohen Ashby, who, as you mentioned, Joe, that mammoth shot into left field to get things going for Auburn.
That pitch down in the dirt. It's 2-0. Well, a base is open. It is not first base. Just one out in the inning, and now it's 3-0.
And I think now the problem also is you really don't want to give Ashby now a pitch to connect on after what he did that first time up.
That pitch is in for a called strike.
But the other dilemma you reach is if you walk Ashby, you load the bases, and you'd really need either a strikeout or a double play ball to avoid any damage happening.
That pitch in for a called strike, and the count runs full.
So now 3-2 here for Ashby. Corbeck looking for a huge punch out.
That's hit well to right, but well foul.
And even on a foul ball, Joe, that was a very hard hit ball down that right field line. Straighten out just a little bit, might have been an opposite field home run.
That's down and away for ball 4. So another good at bat. This time it's Ashby drawing the walk, and that is the third base on balls of the inning.
So now the base is loaded. Obviously, if you're Penfield, have to be quick. They're going to move the infield in just a little bit. Not on the grass fully. The corner infielders will be on the grass. Looks like they will have actually 3 of them on the grass. That one's through for a base hit. That will bring home 1 run. They give Auburn now an 8-0 lead.
Each runner moves up a base, and it's an RBI single for Seth Portapillo. As Auburn continues to pile it on, it's now 8-0.
And at least for Penfield on that one, only 1 run was able to come in. But Portapillo with that single now gives them the 7th hit of the game, 8th run now for Auburn. And they still have bases loaded, still just 1 out. And Joey Villano, who got a single his last time up, now comes up to the plate.
Well, Nick, the reason only 1 run scored on the play is because that ball was smoked.
Right.
That's chopped to first. They'll get an out there, throw to the plate, but that became a non-force play, and that eliminated any chance to cut down the runner trying to score. And it's now 9-0 on an RBI ground out by Joey Villano.
So a productive out right there for Villano, bringing home that runner from third and now making it 9-0. And brings up Bo Buchanan now with second and third. 2 outs in the inning.
That will bring up Bo Buchanan. Buchanan is 0 for 1. And he fouls one off. Pitch on its way. And that's hit sharply toward the middle. Backhanded by Natali. And he throws over to first in time to retire Buchanan for the final out of the inning. But not before Auburn tacks on 2 more. Their lead is now 9. Our score, 9-0, Auburn over Penfield.
State Little League Championship is proud to have Dave & Buster's as a proud sponsor. Where are you going after the game? There's only one place with delicious food, ice-cold drinks, games on the big screen, and fun for the whole family. Food and drink specials are available all week, with the latest video games and the biggest arcade on the island. Redeem tokens for great prizes and come back often because Dave & Buster's is the place to be for game day and all the days in between. Turn on the fun with Dave & Buster's on Staten Island.
And we are back from Great Kills Little League, where the Auburn lead has extended to 9 runs. Just 7 hits in the game for Auburn after they had 6 in the first inning. However, Nick, the walks really came back to bite Penfield in that second inning.
A lot of great at-bats in that inning from Auburn. A couple of at-bats where they were down 1-2 in the count, a couple of at-bats where they were up 3-0 in the count, and they were able to get those walks and get in 2 more runs in that top of the second, and now 9-0 lead. And for Penfield, Joe, now you get the sense that you're starting to, if you're Penfield, you probably need to score some runs very soon because we're getting into that territory right now early on.
It gets late much earlier when the deficit approaches 10 runs. Obviously, Auburn would love to tack on one more and put that pressure on this Penfield team, but the home team still with plenty of time. That being said, they've already had to dig deep into their pitching staff. 3 pitchers already in this game, and the starter in this game, Brandon Struzik, looks at a called strike 3. Or Braden, excuse me.
So Struzik down to start the inning. And for Ruscio, Joe, he threw 19 pitches in that first inning, now up to 22, obviously, after that 3-pitch strikeout. So very good pace for him so far in this game.
And it looks like there may have been some sort of equipment malfunction out on the mound.
Right now, Zeke Salbin.
Did they change pitchers, Nick? Did they swap really quick?
They might have, Joe.
And I think with the 9-run lead, Nick, that might have been what happened. They did it so quickly that I didn't catch it.
That's going to be
they sure did.
Number 10, Seth Portapillo, who was second baseman now, is coming on in relief. And honestly, I think that's a good strategy because now, with only throwing 22 pitches, that's not much rest. You would have to tell me, Joe, what's the exact amount of days rest with there's just around 22 pitches that it would take? Is that 1 day?
1 calendar day.
1 calendar
day, 21 to 35. Now, if he reached 22 during that at bat, which he did, I think it goes to 0.
It might be. So you realistically could throw him out tomorrow for their second game.
You could, and then you start potentially 2-0 in pool play. That puts you in a great spot.
This tournament's all game strategies when it comes down to it, and now you bring in a new pitcher with this 9-run lead, and we'll see if they can hold on to this lead and maybe get this game ended early to try to save some more pitchers for the rest of this tournament.
Well, obviously, we don't have in-depth knowledge of the pitching staff for each of these teams. If you're Penfield and you see this, I think you have to attack here.
Yeah.
And do everything you can to force Auburn to use more pitching. And if you're Auburn and you get clean innings out of the bullpen in this spot, you just need to look to tack on one more and get out of here as early as you can.
And I think it's also getting some confidence, at least not only for this game, but for the rest of this round-robin play. You want to have some confidence going into tomorrow and then again on Thursday when you finish up the round-robin play. So if you are Penfield right now, you need to attack right now in this opportunity if you want to keep this game going. So Grayson McCormick, who is now the new pitcher for Penfield, will come up with nobody on and 1 out. Count now evens at 1.
McCormick getting his first at-bat of this game, of course, came on to pitch. The most recent pitcher for Penfield. We expect to see him again in the third as that is sliced foul.
A little bit tied up on that one for McCormick. Had to give a half swing on that pitch inside. Count now going to 1-2. So that'll be something we'll have to monitor now tomorrow if they start Ruscio for their second game of this round robin. But he was very productive in the five batters that he did face.
Count 1 ball and 2 strikes here. Check that, 2-2. That's chopped foul. So when you're keeping the scorecard by hand and don't have the scoreboard to look at, that's going to happen from time to time.
Yeah, I was trying to get to edit it to 2-2, but it wasn't in time before you said it.
So I blame you.
I blame myself.
That's what I like to hear.
Gotta be quicker than that.
So the count remains even at 2 as McCormick steps back into the box. And the count runs full.
Portapillo wanted that pitch low and a little bit on the outside. He misses with ball 4.
Another walk, Nick, this time by Auburn. And that is exactly how innings get away from you. You don't want to see that fresh out of the bullpen from a new arm.
So now Penfield has a runner on for Matteo Natali. And he gets hit by a pitch, and he got plunked right on the back, Joe. That one's going to sting.
And you could hear it, Nick. I wasn't sure if that caught a belt or the hip, but you could really hear that from up here. And that looked painful. But I said it before, when you have a new pitcher come into the game and miss badly, it's concerning. And you've made that decision now to go to the bullpen leading by 9. And with 5 innings to go in this game, a lead can dwindle very quickly. You have to remember, all of these athletes out here are all-stars in their respective leagues. And
Right.
we know there's offense down this Penfield lineup. And if you're the home team in this game, you have to be feeling pretty good with these first looks you've gotten out of Portopio, who just came on in relief.
I think if you're also, from what we've seen overall in baseball itself, no lead is realistically safe. So there's still plenty of time for Penfield to get back, and this could be the inning that they get their opportunity to do so. You now have first and second, still 1 out in the inning, and Spencer Camp will come up to the plate as Natali will go to first base. Does indeed to be in still some pain, but he is going to reach first, and he'll be running the bases on this upcoming at-bat.
So Spencer Camp will be the batter. And it looks like time was called, yeah.
Try to see if he can shake it off, maybe.
Yeah, it sounded like he got hit in the hip. We could hear it pretty well from up here.
Yeah. Someone that's gotten hit in there before when they were playing Little League does not feel well. That is for sure.
That's a bone bruise waiting to happen. And not to be lost, Nick, that first pitch to Camp missed pretty badly.
Inside, yeah.
And it's becoming an issue here as Portopilo gets a swing and miss there for strike 1.
Yeah, I love the enthusiasm as well from the Penfield dugout. Down 9, they are still in this game. They know that there is still time to get back into this one.
And that was a good-looking fastball from the Auburn reliever there as Camp swung and missed up high. That one's fouled straight back.
Camp on those last 2 swings, on the 2 strikes, was behind on the fastball, almost a little bit behind on that one. Just got a piece of it to keep the at-bat going. The count still remains 1-2.
That's fouled away again. Now, I actually noticed this earlier, Nick, and the stream chat was having a word about it. What do you think of the text on the back of the Auburn uniforms, those last names? What is that? Hard to read, no?
Kinda, yeah. I didn't even notice until you said it.
It reminds me, when I was a kid, there was a restaurant in Manhattan. I forget the year attached to it. It was like Mars 2054 or something. It was an alien-themed restaurant, and everything was written in that kind of font, that futuristic-looking, tough-to-read font as that misses outside. But I've been trying to call players by name off the back of the jerseys. It's not working. And that is on the outside corner for a called strike 3. Big pitch there by Portopilo, and he gets a big strike out of Spencer Camp.
It's a huge out number 2 right there for Auburn, getting that strikeout. Now Ambrose Valentini will try to extend the inning for Penfield here, and try to get their first run of this game.
All right, so the restaurant, Nick, was Mars 2112. Thank you to Balloon for that.
I was going to ask, did you look that up, or did someone actually just tell you it?
I knew of the restaurant,
Okay.
but I didn't know what year was attached
Okay.
next to the name Mars. That was back when I thought it was a fun trip to go to Manhattan. Now it's just, ugh.
No trip to Manhattan is really fun anymore.
Yeah, don't venture more than a few blocks from the Garden. That's the only
Right.
reason I'm there.
Right.
So that pitch is in for a called strike. Ambrose Valentini at the plate here, looking to keep this inning going. He's behind 1-2. Now, fun fact about me and Mars 2112, I had an alien mask back when I was a kid.
Okay.
I'll continue after this pitch.
I'm trying to see where this is going.
And that swung on and missed for strike 3. So Penfield will strand a pair. Just to finish my story, I had an alien mask, and I began blending in with the staff. I was going table to table as probably an 8-year-old kid, taking photos with the restaurant guests as if I was a part of the staff.
Okay.
Though I was wearing a green crew neck sweatshirt. I was very clearly not in costume, but the patrons loved it. Perhaps a future career of mine, costume character. We'll see. Can't speak, though, so when I'm silenced, it doesn't typically go well.
That's
Our
true.
score heading to inning number 3, 9-0, Auburn over Penfield.
To sports, why be good when you can be legendary? At Legend Sporting Goods in Brooklyn, we service the community with only the best custom apparel, embroidery, and service, specializing in youth sports, so that the leaders of today become the legends of tomorrow. We're proud to support all of this week's great athletes and invite everyone to check us out and make us a part of your team. Come see why Legend Sporting Goods is in a class by itself. Visit us online or call us now.
Third inning from Great Kills Little League. Our score 9-0. Auburn with the sizable lead. Grayson McCormick returns to the mound for Penfield. He will face 8, 9, and 10 here in the road third.
We do have a substitution in the infield. CJ Spatafor now is the new first baseman for Penfield, replacing Noah Bolt.
That pitch misses outside for ball 1. And that looked like a half swing as that's lined softly to short, where the catch is made for out number 1. So you said it, Nick. Spot of 4 for Bolt over at first base. I'll make that change on my scorecard. At the plate here, Evan Bulla. First out of the inning was Parker Smith. And Bulla is quickly ahead 1-0. And the 1-0 misses downstairs. Auburn has had the leadoff man on in each of the first 2 innings. That streak ends here in the third. That pitch misses outside. And the count runs to 3-0.
One pitch away from working another walk in this game.
And that misses low for ball 4. Yet another walk. And I'm losing track of the tally, Nick. But credit to Auburn, working good at bats and not chasing out of the strike zone. They've made things tough on Penfield pitching.
You've seen the discipline for this team in this game so far through just 3 innings. They are not swinging at any bad pitches. They are making sure that if they're going to swing on something, it's a really good pitch.
That pitch is in for a called strike. At the plate, Landon Blanchfield, extra hitter for Auburn. Blanchfield walked his first time up, and the count here evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. And the 1-1 misses down and away. Here comes the 2-1. And that's in for a letter high strike.
A little bit of a breaking ball on that one, it looked like maybe.
It looked like Blanchfield may have given up on it a bit. Definitely started high, as that was swung on and missed for strike 3.
Number 44, Tanner Guarino.
And that will bring up Tanner Guarino.
Guarino will try to extend the inning here for Auburn. The 11th hitter in their lineup. Now 2 away in this top of the third.
First pitch on its way, and that's low and outside for ball 1. Guarino 1 for 1 at the plate with an RBI single in his first plate appearance. That's hit toward the middle, and Natali will flip to second in time as the side is retired. So for the first time today, Auburn is held off of the scoreboard. We head to the home third. Penfield trailing 9-0.
This tournament would not be possible without the great support of the Staten Island Advance. Not only does the Staten Island Advance have full coverage of the tournament, but we are committed to covering Island youth sports year-round and all news close to home. Pick up the paper today and look for great subscriber deals now for our loyal readership. Visit us online at silive.com for news and photos of this week's tournament and all the breaking news on Staten Island, the nation, and the world. The news of Staten Island is the Staten Island Advance and silive.com.
And we're back here on the PDF Sports Network, where it looks like we have another pitching change, Nick. And I think Auburn is going to look to do this for as long as they can, using every arm at their disposal, trying to keep them under that 21-pitch threshold, and they can use whoever they want moving forward in pool play. So I think that's the right strategy. It's not often you get ahead by as many runs as they have this early in a game, and they're taking full advantage.
I wish I got the number of how many pitches Portopilo threw. Didn't really look at the scoreboard beforehand. I did not think they were going to maybe make a pitching change. But to your credit, like you said, this is a good opportunity and a good strategy from Auburn to do this. Now, Cohen Ashby, the original third baseman for this game, he's going to come on in relief. And I'm trying to see now who's replacing him at third. I think it's Gianno Ruscio. So now the original starting pitcher, he now moves over to third base.
I'll update my scorecard with that.
Looking around the entire field for you just in case there's any other changes. I think that is the only one. Ruscio at a third and Ashby on the mound. Outfield is the same.
10-11-12 due up. Jack Clark will lead things off, and he takes outside. Clark getting his first at-bat of the evening. And he went up the ladder there as he fouls that one back for strike one.
And once again for Penfield, they need some kind of spark here if they want to get back into this game. Still trailing 9-0. There's still time to get back into it, but you're starting to now realize that you're down to a few outs left in this game. You could really use a big base hit.
That one lands foul, just wide of fair territory along the first base line, and the count runs to 1-2. Well, Penfield remains fairly aggressive at the plate. They did get a couple of base runners in the previous inning, one on a walk and one on a hit batter, but they struck out 3 times in the second, and the third opens with a strikeout of Jack Clark.
Good start to the inning for Cohen Ashby right there with that punch out. Gets Jack Clark for the first out of the inning, and now brings up Louis Sapir.
Sapir ending up at shortstop following multiple realignments for the pitching changes in this game on the Penfield side. And he looks at the first pitch he sees tonight for ball one.
That one on the outside off the glove makes the count 2-0.
So when I'm looking down at my phone, in addition to the live chat, when we come back from the ad breaks that YouTube inserts, my stream gets extremely laggy. So if you're watching at home and you skip the ads that YouTube places over these games, it may lag a bit. If you refresh, that should be corrected. Just a note for those watching at home. As that misses for ball 4. So the second walk issued by Auburn pitching in the last couple of innings, and Sapir is on with one away.
Number 15, Quinn Doherty.
Quinn Doherty, the batter. Starting catcher for Penfield, takes ball 1. And quickly, it's 2-0 count.
After that strikeout, Ashby has missed with the last 6, so trying to find the strike zone once again.
There's ball 3, and Nick, This looks a lot like that second inning. Strikeout to open up the frame, walk, hit batter, and then back-to-back strikeouts. And there's a walk.
Number 3, Will Belofsky.
And that will bring up Will Belofsky. Nick.
There's almost a hidden ball trick. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was close. Sapir just got back.
I picked my head up for a second. Almost missed it.
And Belofsky takes up and away for ball one, but Brandon Ruscio trying to keep the pitch counts down on as many of his arms as he can, and that misses badly for ball two as both runners will advance.
I think about this too for Belofsky. If he can get on, Joe, back to the top of the lineup for Penfield. So this could be a really important inning in this game. If Penfield can maybe potentially load the bases.
That pitch is on the inside corner for a called strike, and I think it goes without saying, Nick, Penfield needs to strike for at least a couple of runs in this inning, and that's down the line. Fair ball, and that will do it as 2 runs come in to score. Turning second and heading for third is Belofsky, and he is in standing with a 2 RBI triple.
Opposite field hitting right there from Belofsky. Brings home 2 runs for Penfield, gets their second hit of this game. And Joe, don't look now. They are not out of this one just yet. It's now 9-2, and they are back to the top of the lineup.
Certainly not out of it yet. And you said it, Nick. Behind Belofsky, you get it back to the top of the lineup. And C.J. Spadafora, a left-hander, will come to the plate for his second at-bat. He struck out swinging his first time. And we'll see how Auburn deals with some adversity here as we play in the home third inning. Spadafora behind 0-1 and make it 0-2 with that swing and miss.
Quick look at the last 2-run single down that right field line for Belofsky.
And that's lined into center for a base hit. And it's now a 6-run game. C.J. Spadafora with an RBI single has made it 9-3.
Now a 9-3 lead. Spadafora gets that RBI hit. As Penfield now, maybe, Joe, start to get those rally caps going here in the bottom of the third.
Well, you have to think that their confidence has risen significantly now.
Didn't mean to interrupt. I was going to say that's going to lead to a pitching change, but back to your point.
They got a pair of walks, Nick. They capitalized the triple, put another runner in scoring position, and Spadafora with good 2-strike hitting, able to bring that runner home. So with a runner on first and 1 out, it is now a 6-run game. We'll step aside for a quick 30-second break as new pitcher for Auburn. Bentley Lanning throws his warm-up tosses. Lanning takes over on the mound when we come back.
The Staten Island Ferry Hawks are proud to be a sponsor of this year's New York State Little League Championship, because one championship organization deserves another. Come check out another amazing season with us at Staten Island University Hospital Community Ballpark with great ticket and group deals, theme nights, and fireworks displays. Good luck to all of our teams this week from your friends at the Staten Island Ferry Hawks. We'll see you at the game.
And we're back from Great Kills, where Bentley Lanning takes over on the mound for Auburn. And all of a sudden, Nick, Penfield beginning to work their way back into it. It was a huge cushion for Auburn. They had plenty of margin for error, but at the very least, Penfield threatening here in this third inning. And if they can put up another run or two, they are right back in this ballgame.
3 runs already in the inning on 2 hits. And you're now at the top of the line. Now the number 2 hitter coming up in Noah Lemuti. And we'll have to see now what Auburn can do in this inning. Bentley Lanning, as you mentioned, is the new pitcher. There also is a couple of defensive substitutions they made in the entire field itself. Now, I know that Parker Smith moved from right to center. Bo Buchanan moved from first to right. Ruscio now is from third to first.
And that's at a mile high on the infield. Should be an easy play on the right side. And the catch is made with 2 hands over it short. Now, I would consult my lineup card for the alignment, and Zeke Zalbin is still over there. So the infield looks pretty similar. Ashby went to third.
Yep, Ashby went right back to third base.
Yep. That's a big second out, as Noah Lemuti went down on just one pitch. And now it's left to Noah Bolt. Bolt had the first Penfield hit of the game, and he looks at a big breaking ball for a strike. How about that pitch?
Wow. What a pitch type that was.
They call that a wicked hook, Nick, as that's line foul.
This is kind of the spark that Auburn needed. After giving up those 3 runs now, Penfield starting to creep back into this game, getting that pop fly out to get the second out, and now it's 1 strike away from keeping this a 9-3 game heading into the 4th.
Lanning comes set and delivers as that misses inside. Another 1-2 coming. And there's a big breaking ball that gets caught in the fencing back behind home plate.
Looks similar to that first pitch he threw to start off the at-bat.
And the umpire able to knock it down with another ball. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Spot of 4, the runner on first. He drove in Will Belofsky with an RBI single. Belofsky drove in a pair with a triple. And that misses up and away. Runner going for second where nobody is covering. And that is good heads-up base running by C.J. Spadafora.
Now it gets that runner into scoring position. So if Bolt can get a base hit right here, brings home another run. But a big strikeout from Lanning to retire the side.
And Bolt will go down swinging to end the threat. Penfield strands a runner in scoring position, but they strike for 3 as they try and work their way back into this one. It is a 6-run lead for Auburn through 3 innings.
Awards and Trophy Center is proud to sponsor this week's New York State Little League Championship. Located at 1600 Highland Boulevard on Staten Island, we pride ourselves in not only building trophies, but building relationships as we service our community and treat you like family. Your event and its achievements deserve the best. That's why Country Awards and Trophy Center is ready to work with all of our clients to make your event a memorable one, with awards, trophies, and gifts that make a lasting impression. Come see why we love our customers and they love us. Visit us today.
And we're back from Great Kills where the trumpets are blaring, Nick.
Edwin Diaz coming in?
Where is he? And how about the Mets? They've been on quite the run lately.
That Grimace magic is going for them well.
I was at the Grimace game. I'm not even a Mets fan.
Oh.
I think the Grimace game was against the Marlins.
I don't remember which game it was.
I want to say June 12th.
Might Ben.
We were at one of those games, and Grimace threw out the first pitch, so I think that was the game. I'm a Phillies fan, but we were at the Mets game because the all-you-can-eat seats got mighty cheap. And I can't turn down a free meal with seats behind home plate.
Of course.
So we got to enjoy some good food and a Mets victory for the Mets fans in our party. But Grayson McCormick is back to the mound for Penfield, and he delivers a called strike 1. At the plate is Lucas Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald walked his first time up, and he takes outside.
Well, now look at the scenario, Joe, here in the top of the 4th. 9-3 game. So Penfield has now made this one a little bit interesting. They do have a pitcher warming up in their bullpen as well. If they can get out of this inning and keep it 9-3, they have a realistic shot down the last couple of innings of this game to give Auburn a run for their money.
So the umpire right now is conversing with some of the players in the Penfield bullpen.
So it was because the person that was protecting the reliever did not have a helmet on, it looks like.
Okay. Well, they now have an appropriately helmeted player emerging from the dugout. So all good there. That's a ways out there, Nick. I mean, if that's the standard, you would think the infielders need helmets too, no?
Do appreciate the in-game music, though. Sounds like maybe kind of a Jeopardy type of music.
We had some interesting selections last year.
Interesting is definitely.
We'll just say
definitely
this:
the word for it.
There was some big energy in the building, and well, They didn't spare us any of the words in those lyrics. That is not my kind of music.
Nope.
As that's grounded through the middle for a base hit. And Fitzgerald reaches for the second time with his first base hit of the night.
That'll go down as I believe the 8th hit now of the game for Auburn with that leadoff single to start off the top of the 4th. Good job of hitting from Lucas Fitzgerald.
Cam Marinka, the batter, left-handed hitter. And there's a half swing, and that is a fair ball. As that rolls toward the fence down the left field line. That ball was nearly caught right along the line over at third base by Struzik, and I think he caught it with his glove just in fair territory.
That was a very weird-looking play off the bat.
That is an unorthodox base hit for Cam Marinka.
We'll look at the replay in just a
And
moment.
Nick, I think the rain's starting to fall.
Is it?
I think I felt some raindrops.
I did see something. I don't know if that was maybe something else flying towards above me, but it does maybe look like rain. Yep, and now I felt the drop as I said
that. And that's hit to straightaway center, where the catch is made for out number 1. Well, Nick, we can't take much rain. If it begins to rain, we have to break it down.
Yeah.
We have no coverage tonight. There was not rain in the forecast today. We can handle the drizzle, not much more than that. We do have in our equipment bag over there, Nick, some plastic covering we can use over the laptop as that's hit to short. Chance for 2. In time at first, and I'm not sure about that one, Nick.
I don't think so either, but if you're Penfield, you'll take it, and they get out of the inning without giving up a run as well.
On the scorecard, it is a 6-4-3 double play, and just like that, Auburn is turned aside in the 4th. We head to the home half of inning number 4. Our score, 9-3.
Attention local businesses and professionals. Isn't it time to elevate your game? Now you can advertise your business or product on PDF Sports Network. Your ad will appear on all of our broadcasts, including this one. Don't have a commercial? We'll make one for you, absolutely free. What better way to showcase your product and brand while supporting the best local sports, teams, and leagues? Call now at 732-723-8189 or visit us at pdfsportsnet.com.
And we're back from Great Kills, where right now we are in the midst of some drizzle. Hopefully that is the extent of the rain this evening, but anything more than that, and we will have to cut the stream. As the first pitch in the home 4th is ripped into straightaway center, and that is a loud leadoff base hit off the bat of Ryan Sullivan.
Sullivan, the cleanup hitter in this Penfield lineup. First pitch swinging and gets a base hit. And after getting 3 runs in that previous inning, Joe, if Penfield gets some more, we got an interesting ball game. And now a wild pitch will lead to the runner being in scoring position.
And, Nick, you just get the sense that if Penfield can continue to put up zeros, they're going to have a chance late in this game.
Yeah.
But that is contingent upon their pitching staff continuing to put up zeros. And against this Auburn team, that's easier said than done.
Count right now 2-0.
There's a big cut on 2-0 by Braden Struzik.
Here's that previous base hit from Ryan Sullivan. And that one up the middle.
The umpire behind the plate calling for time as we had a loose baseball down the right field line in foul territory. The 2-1 upcoming. And that breaking ball is fouled straight back.
That's one of those pitches, Joe, where if you're a batter, your eyes kind of widen up and you want to make a big contact and try to make sure you get a piece of it. But once again, it fooled the batter at the plate.
I think that was a hanger, Nick.
Yeah.
He just missed it. As Struzik fouls back another.
If you're Penfield, also getting that runner into scoring position and still nobody out, this is a spot where you realistically want to get that run in. At least get one in the inning. Keep yourself alive.
And that's hit in the air out toward right center. And Smith makes the catch on the run for the first out.
Smith was the original right fielder to start this game, shifted over to center after a couple of substitutions in that previous inning. He makes the catch in right center field for the first out of the bottom of the fourth.
That will bring up Grayson McCormick.
McCormick got a huge inning-ending double play to get out of the jam in that previous half inning.
And that's hit to the left side. Strong throw across the diamond in time. Throw back to third. Just late. Aggressive base running by Sullivan, who beats the tag.
He didn't beat it by much either.
No, he didn't. But I think he was in there. And Matteo Natale will be the batter. So Grayson McCormick grounds out to third. Penfield now with a runner on third and 2 outs. And Natale looks at a strike.
Let's look at that play, not only at first, but at third base as well. Sullivan just getting in there.
That breaking ball misses low. And how about this breaking ball we've seen from Lanning so far in this outing?
It has really fooled these Penfield hitters because then he comes right back with a fastball, as you see right there, but he just missed it for a ball. The count goes 2-1. It's tough to strategize against a pitcher like this when you know he has a good breaking ball as well as a good fastball. So these batters have to be on their toes trying to see what the next pitch is.
And the 2-1 misses for ball 3. For those asking in the live chat, Harrison and Plattsburgh up next. Harrison and Plattsburgh, our next game. First pitch scheduled for 8 p.m. I'm not sure we're getting off an 8 p.m. first pitch, Nick, as that misses for ball 4.
Yeah, I got to wonder maybe if the rain's going to play a factor, if there is going to be more to the extent of this current drizzle that we have.
I'm not worried about the rain. I'm worried about the pace of this game, but we'll see.
It is 6:20, so.
That pitch misses up and away, and you can see it over at first base, Nick. Natale's dancing and would love to move into scoring position and take away the forced second.
Quickly now down the count 2-0 is Lanning. He's now over 20 pitches so far out of relief.
The batter is Spencer Camp, and he takes the 2-0 for a strike. Camp 0 for 1, struck out looking his first time up. Second time in the game, he's come to the plate with 2 men on base.
Runner goes.
There it is, Nick, and you could just see that coming.
So now you have first base open. The count is 3-1. So this is a big pitch upcoming here for Lanning. He could potentially load the bases. As there is his time was called on the field.
Yeah, they're looking in toward the dugout of Penfield and up at the platform behind the plate where the administrators are seated.
Play's going to resume.
Nothing comes of that. And there's a swing and a miss. As it looks like the umpire ruled that Camp just got a piece. But that runs the count full, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Probably the most important pitch of the game right now here.
And that misses for ball 4. The Auburn infield wanted it, and Lanning wanted it, but I think he missed.
Just missed it by a few inches on the outside corner. So now the bases are loaded. Ambrose Valentini, what a chance here, Joe. With the bases loaded, down 6, could really make this game down the stretch very eye-opening if he can get a base hit. At least bring home 1 or 2 runs.
And there's another good breaking ball from Lanning in for a strike. And if you're Penfield, you have to find a way to come through here. It's getting late, It's a 6-run game. They need to plate, I would say, at least 2 in the spot. Come through with a base hit, maybe a walk and a hit. Any way you can, you have to find a way to get a couple home here.
And considering they had a runner on second and nobody out at the beginning of the inning, you at least want to get 1 or 2 runs in. And Valentini now has a 2-1 count.
Valentini struck out swinging his last time up, and he looks at a called strike 2 here. Valentini came to the plate with 2 on his last time. He bats here with the bases loaded. And he goes down swinging. Another good off-speed pitch from Lanning, and he picks up a big strikeout to strand the bases loaded. Penfield turned aside in the 4th. Their deficit remains 6. Our score, Auburn 9, Penfield 3.
State Little League Championship is proud to have Dave & Buster's as a proud sponsor. Where are you going after the game? There's only one place with delicious food, ice-cold drinks, games on the big screen, and fun for the whole family. Food and drink specials are available all week, with the latest video games and the biggest arcade on the island. Redeem tokens for great prizes and come back often because Dave & Buster's is the place to be for game day and all the days in between. Turn on the fun with Dave & Buster's on Staten Island.
And we're back from Great Kills, where we have another new pitcher for Penfield. Number 27, Noah Lamuti, the new pitcher. And once again, there will be some resulting shuffling of the infield and the outfield. So, taking a quick look, I don't see any major changes.
CJ Spatafor was the first baseman that last day. He's now in left field. Braden Strusik is at third. I'm not sure if he was.
I think he was there already.
Was he already at third base?
Yeah, I glanced at the infield.
So then we have a new first baseman. I'm trying to see if that's Noah
Sullivan.
Bull. It's Sullivan? Okay.
Sullivan. So more shuffling around is the point. And it will be left to the bullpen once again for Penfield to try and keep them in this game. And, Nick, they can't afford to give up any more runs in this spot. They only have another 6 outs to play with as we play on here in the top of the 5th.
And give your tip of the cap to Grayson McCormick, who came out of relief and a 9-0 deficit and kept that 9 spot on the board for Auburn. Meanwhile, his team got 3 runs to now make it a 6-run game and avoid that mercy rule from taking into effect. So Penfield still has a chance, but as you mentioned, Joe, just 6 outs remaining for this team.
Well, Nick, I think in many cases the rest of the pool is going to be very thankful that Penfield has been able to prolong this game and make Auburn burn some pitching. Because if you go down 10 runs and end up with the run rule being invoked and losing via mercy, that sets up a tough spot for everyone else in the pool that will have to face Auburn later. So Penfield's done a good job, and they've shown some good fights, some good grit and resilience in this game. But so far, Auburn has been too much, and they will send 3, 4, and 5 to the plate here in the 5th. Gianno Ruscio, the batter. He got the start on the mound. It was a very short outing for him.
He threw 22 pitches and faced 5 batters in this game.
Anytime your team jumps out to a 7-run lead as a pitcher, it's typically going to be a pretty good day.
Especially when you can even help your cause with an RBI hit to start off the scoring, you'll definitely take that.
Ruscio behind 0-2 here. That's fouled back. So the count remains 0-2 on Ruscio. Ashby and Portopilo behind him. Looks like they just got a new baseball. And Lamuti is ready. And 0-2 on its way. That's popped up right side of the infield and caught by Sullivan for out number 1.
Number 13, Colin Ashby.
Ashby now open up the scoring in that first inning with that 3-run homer.
Ashby has reached twice, You said it, 3-run homer in the first. He walked in the second. Pitch on its way. And that's low for ball one. And I'm not sure if that was a grunt or somebody in the dugout.
It was a grunt.
Yeah, you could hear it from out here. Here comes the 1-0. And that's lined into the right center field gap for an extra base hit. It's tracked down up against the wall. The throw into second on a hop, but not in time, as Cohen Ashby now has his second extra base hit of the game. He's 2 for 2, and he's on here with a 1-out double.
Nice piece of hitting right there from Ashby to get that 1-out double. As you mentioned, his second extra base hit of the day. As Auburn now trying to get some of those runs back here in the top of the fifth.
Runner in scoring position and one away for Auburn, and Seth Portapillo will be the batter. Portapillo has reached base twice, was hit by a pitch in the first, and singled home a run in the next inning as he skies out to center here. 2 gone.
Camp right under that one. Was in the right place at the right time to record that second out.
Doesn't get much easier than that. 2 away now. And that will bring up Joey Villano. Villano, if I'm not mistaken, taking a quick look, he is the only Auburn batter who is 0 for 2.
Didn't he have a hit at the first inning?
I don't have him with one. I have 3 unassisted and 4-3. Actually, you know what? My scorecard's inverted. I flipped the order.
Oh.
So behind him, Buchanan is the only hitter who is 0 for 2. You're right. He did single in the first. Memory beats pen and paper, Nick. That's what happens when you try and scramble to get the lineup written down quickly. Either way, it's 2-1. I shorted Villano. He is officially 1 for 2. Singled in the first. There was a 3 unassisted for him, but that came in the second. Count 2-2 now, following that last foul ball. And once again, it looks like they're going to get a new baseball for Lemuti. Runner on second, 2 outs here in the road 5th inning. And the 2-2 is fouled back.
Villano out in front on that one, but did just get a piece of it to extend this at bat and keep the count going at 2-2.
And that pitch is in at the knees for a called strike 3. And that will do it for Auburn here in the 5th. They strand 1 in scoring position, and we head to the home half of inning number 5. Auburn over Penfield, 9-3.
It's to sports. Why be good when you can be legendary? At Legend Sporting Goods in Brooklyn, we service the community with only the best custom apparel, embroidery, and service, specializing in youth sports, so that the leaders of today become the legends of tomorrow. We're proud to support all of this week's great athletes and invite everyone to check us out and make us a part of your team. Come see why Legend Sporting Goods is in a class by itself. Visit us online or call us now.
Home half of the 5th inning from Great Kills Little League, where Auburn holds a comfortable 6-run lead. Our score 9-3. Penfield down to their final 6 outs, Nick, and we've seen them threaten on more than one occasion in this game, but when Auburn was presented with a big opportunity in the first, they put up 7. Penfield has stranded quite a few over the last couple of innings, and that's really hurt them. They've gotten 3 runs, but unfortunately for them, that's not nearly enough.
And I think that's more a testament to the pitcher on the mound right now, Bentley Lanning. They brought him in relief after Penfield got those runs, and he has shut the door since. He's back out here for the bottom of the 5th. Right now, he's at 30 pitches as well. So You could make the case, Joe. He might try to finish this game out, try to get these final 6 outs.
I think you'd love Lanning to be able to get you the final 6 outs coming in under that 51 pitch threshold, but that's going to be tough, very tough. If you elect to push him past that, he could still pitch on Saturday. Right. So we'll see how far ahead Auburn is looking in this spot, and you have to think they're going to look all the way to a potential championship berth. And it's really hard to gauge how the managers will go about making pitching decisions when you're not really sure about the hierarchy of that pitching staff.
Right.
So we'll learn more as the week goes on, specifically about the teams in the other pool, as you and I predominantly will be covering that side of things the rest of the way. So I'll have another look at these teams on Thursday.
You will.
On the Penfield side, it will be 10, 11, and 12 due up. Clark, Sapir, and Dougherty. First pitch on its way here in the home fifth, and that's low for ball 1.
I remember how Penfield got their 3 runs in this game. The bottom of the order got on base. Spatafora got that big hit, and they got into this scoring column. They got back to the top of the lineup. If they could do that again in this inning, then they could cut the deficit going into the 6th inning. So some runs could be very much well needed here for Penfield.
And that pitch sails high.
Count is 2-1. Once again, Lanning trying to get him on that breaking ball, but just missed high.
That's chopped to third. Nice play to snag it by Ashby. And he throws out Clark for out number 1.
Great job by Ashby on that one. Had to wait on the hop, made the strong throw to first base in time to record the first out of the 5th.
That will bring up Louis Sapir. Sapir walked and came around to score his last time up. And I always talk about how you can't give away outs at the bottom of the lineup. Or I should say, give away base runners if you're on the mound specifically. Don't walk batters, don't hit batters. But the bottom of the lineup for Penfield got it done. 2 walks, which I always caution against. And then the number 13 hitter, Will Belofsky, delivered the 2 RBI triple. That's undoubtedly been the biggest hit of the game for Penfield.
Right.
It's quickly 0-2 here on Sapir. And he fouls that one back. Still a very light rain over Great Kills Little League. You can hardly see it. But we look like we should be okay, as that's on the outside corner for a called strike 3.
So quick work for Lanning in this inning now. 2 outs. And looking for a 1-2-3 5th. Try and send this one into the 6th inning with a 6-run lead.
Quinn Dougherty to the plate here. As I mentioned before, he walked in his lone at-bat, and he takes a high breaking ball for ball 1.
Auburn faithful definitely wanted a strike on that one.
And that misses outside.
Mentioned Joe, Auburn, one of the newer teams in this tournament this year. We'll see 2 new teams as well in our final game of round robin play here tonight.
That's fouled straight back. And I said it before, coming up next, Harrison Little League takes on Plattsburgh Little League. 2 teams new to our coverage here on PDF anyway. Penfield, the lone team on this side of things that we covered last season. Count now 3-1 on Quinn Dougherty. And he lines one the other way, but foul.
That last pitch for Lanning was number 42.
See if they send him out for one more inning.
It's going to definitely be a discussion that Auburn will have in their dugout.
I'd be inclined to say no, Nick. I think they probably send in a pitcher hoping to keep them under 20 pitches. I think that's what I would expect. But as I said before, when you don't really know what the pitching hierarchy is,
right,
it's hard to make that determination from over here, as the rain's coming down a bit harder now. It's a walk on that last 3-2 pitch. And Dougherty reaches via the base on balls for the second time. That keeps the inning going for Will Belofsky.
Mitch Belofsky got that big 2-run triple, put Penfield on the board.
And he hits one over to second, flipped the short way to the shortstop covering, and that will do it for Penfield in the fifth. The home team strands one, and they still trail by 6. Our score, 9-3, heading to the sixth.
This tournament would not be possible without the great support of the Staten Island Advance. Not only does the Staten Island Advance have full coverage of the tournament, but we are committed to covering island youth sports year-round and all news close to home. Pick up the paper today and look for great subscriber deals now for our loyal readership. Visit us online at silive.com for news and photos of this week's tournament and all the breaking news on Staten Island, the nation, and the world. The news of Staten Island is the Staten Island Advance and silive.com.
Including the off-island teams, please log into silive.com. That's silive.com. Thank you.
And we are back from Great Kills, where I'm beginning to get a bit concerned about the rainfall, Nick. It's starting to come down a bit harder, but we'll stay with you for now as Penfield trails Auburn 9-3. The visitors looking for some insurance here in the top half of the sixth.
Yeah, for Auburn, 3 outs away from starting round-robin play with a 1-0 record. And we've talked about it a lot when it comes to this round-robin play. You want to set yourself up into that spot where if you win your first game, you realistically most likely will just have to win one more game, and you probably set yourself up good to move on into Friday and Saturday potentially. Now, for the other side for Penfield, there's still time to get back into this one. They'll need, hopefully for their case, 6 runs at least to tie the game in the bottom of the 6th inning to avoid an 0-1 record, because if you get to that 0-1 record, you realistically most likely will have to win your next 2 games to make it to Friday.
We spoke about it a bit earlier in the day, and you and I spoke about it quite a bit last year. It is tough to make it. If you go 1-2, it is not impossible.
We did see it last year. There was a 1-2 team in last year.
Was there?
I believe there was.
I don't think there was. I think on the last day there was a chance for a 1-2 team to make it, but Plainview won to go to 2-1.
I thought for some reason there was. Maybe I have to look
think
it
that's
up.
what happened, but we did learn that head-to-head is the first tiebreaker. If there is a 3-way tie, it is run ratio, and run ratio is runs allowed divided by 6.
No more crunching of the numbers like we were trying to do.
First pitch in the 6th inning is taken low for ball 1. Auburn will send 7, 8, 9 to the plate. Buchanan, Smith, Bulla. And the 1-0 is taken for a strike. Count even at 1. Pitch on its way. And there's a good breaking ball from Lemuti, which is swung on and missed for strike 2.
It's very imperative in this inning for Lemuti to keep this a 6-run game. Cannot allow Auburn to try to get some extra runs, to get them some insurance going to the bottom of the inning.
That's hit softly over to second, and the throw to first is in time for a quick out number 1.
A very active day at second base. This time at second base is Sapir, who was at short at one point in this game.
Parker Smith will come to the plate now as the Penfield reliever is getting warm in the bullpen. We'll head back to the dugout.
Corbin went back to shortstop. Not sure if that happened in this inning or not.
I would guess it happened at the time of the pitching change. First pitch to Smith, swung on and missed for strike 1. Comes the 0-1. And he did not go, as the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. And the 1-1 is low for ball 2.
Did have an instance here last year, Great Kills, where we had a lightning delay in one of our games. So hopefully nothing to that extent, but drops of rain are starting to fall a little bit harder than they were a few minutes ago.
Yeah. That's hit to short. McCormick charges and throws to first in time.
Nice play with McCormick right there.
Number 8.
Get that second out of the inning. Lemuti now 1 out away from a 1-2-3-6.
And it looks like that is going to be all for Noah Lemuti, as we're going to have a pitching change here. What was the pitch count, Nick?
I literally went to go look, and they changed it, Joe. Didn't have a chance.
Gotcha.
They're too quick.
New pitcher on the Penfield side, as Jack Clark will take over on the mound with 2 outs here in the top half of the 6th. We'll be right back from Great Kills Little League. And this day 1 of pool play, Auburn leads Penfield by a score of 9-3.
Now pitching for Penfield.
The Staten Island Ferry Hawks are proud to be a sponsor of this year's New York State Little League Championship, because one championship organization deserves another. Come check out another amazing season with us at Staten Island University Hospital Community Ballpark with great ticket and group deals, theme nights, and fireworks displays. Good luck to all of our teams this week from your friends at the Staten Island Ferry Hawks. We'll see you at the game.
Jack Clark into the game for Penfield. His team trailing by 6 runs. 2 outs here in the top half of inning number 6. And Auburn will send Evan Bulla to the plate, looking to keep the inning going and to try and pick up some insurance. Bulla at the plate, 0 for 1, struck out his first time up and reached on a walk in the 3rd. And here he looks at a strike. And that breaking ball misses upstairs.
Curious to see now, Joe, what Penfield does tomorrow for their second game. Used a couple of relievers here in this game tonight. So we'll have to see how many people will at least pitch for them tomorrow night in their second matchup.
The teams that are playing tonight have the quick turnover tomorrow. They will play in the morning. Now, I'm not sure if either of the teams playing in the late game. In fact, I think one of them would have to be playing in the early game just to keep the matchups unique. So one of those 2 teams playing in our next game, Harrison or Plattsburgh, will have to play in the early game tomorrow. It's a bit of a disadvantage.
All right.
That misses down and in as the count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. The count full on the Auburn 8th place hitter. And time is called by the home plate umpire. Payoff pitch upcoming. And that's in for a called strike 3. So Bulla goes down looking, and Clark faces one batter and strikes him out, as that will send us to the home half of inning number 6. Penfield down to their final 3 outs. When we come back, they'll look to erase a 6-run deficit. back from great kills for the bottom half of inning number 6. Top of the order due up for Penfield with C.J. Spadafora leading things off as the count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Spadafora is 1 for 2, struck out swinging and delivered an RBI base hit back in the 3rd. As that's fouled away, and Spadafora is now behind 1-2.
Well, I think if you're Penfield here in the spot, Joe, with down 6, this is the part of the line you want to have an opportunity to get back into the game. You're leading off with your leadoff hitter. Spadafora now down the count 1-2.
And he takes outside. So Lanning does indeed return to the mound. Nick, how many pitches is he
He's
at?
at 48 now.
Yeah, so they'll probably pull him before he can eclipse 51 as that breaking ball just missed.
He thought he had it, and the Auburn fans to our left thought they had it.
We have a pretty good look at it, but we're impartial.
They might not be, though.
They certainly aren't. As that is ripped foul and evasive action taken.
Whew. That was a rocket down the first base line.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
See if he goes with the off-speed pitch here.
He does, and it's a good one. Breaking ball, called strike 3. And Spadafora goes down looking.
You had to think after throwing that fastball the previous pitch and getting smoked down the first baseline foul, he was going to go off-speed there to try to fool the batter. Did so right there. Froze him for the first out of the inning. That's going to do it for Lanning here.
As I expected, Nick. They
51,
pull him.
51 on the dot.
Yep. So it looks like they are going to turn to Bo Buchanan.
That is indeed the case.
For the final outs of this game. So Buchanan will get warm, and we'll step aside. Our score remains 9-3. 1 out in the bottom half of inning number 6.
Awards and Trophy Center is proud to sponsor this week's New York State Little League Championship. Located at 1600 Highland Boulevard on Staten Island, we pride ourselves in not only building trophies, but building relationships as we service our community and treat you like family. Your event and its achievements deserve the best. That's why Country Awards and Trophy Center is ready to work with all of our clients to make your event a memorable one. With awards, trophies, and gifts that make a lasting impression. Come see why we love our customers and they love us. Visit us today.
And we're back from great kills, where Penfield is down to their final 2 outs, trailing by 6. And Nick, even though it appears that Penfield is likely to come up short in this game, you have to like the fight that they showed for 6 innings in this one. They very easily could have rolled over and said, you know what, we have 2 more games.
Right.
This game appears to have gotten out of hand, but obviously there's a lot of pride involved in this as well. You're an all-star, just like the players on the other side are all-stars, and you don't want to get run out of the building in your first game, and they did a very good job in this one to give themselves a chance. They had the runners on base to get back in this game, but credit goes to Auburn, both at the plate and on the mound. They got the big hits when they needed, and they got the big outs on the mound when they needed them.
Right, dude, there was that spot where it was still 9-3, and the bases were loaded for Penfield, but Bentley Lanning, who just came out of relief and now is back in center field, got the strikeout to retire the side. Did a great job out of the bullpen. After giving up the 3 runs for the game for Auburn, he came out of relief, did not allow a single run in relief through 51 pitches, and now it turns over to Bo Buchanan for the final 2 outs of this game.
Well, at the very least, if you're a team in this pool, those other teams, obviously Harrison and Plattsburgh, you have to like that Penfield made Auburn use some pitchers. They didn't go long in this game and weren't forced into a situation where they needed extended rest following this outing. But they did force them to use multiple pitchers. That's hit well, left center field, and that will one-hop the wall. Noah Lemuti heading for second, and he just gets in under the tag.
That was very close.
Very close indeed, Nick. And I'm not sure how good of a look we had at that play, but boy, I think the throw beat him. The tag, I don't believe did.
I don't think it did either.
I think he was safe, but wow. Great play to make it close.
I'll do my best to get a replay of that one.
We have time here. Let's get a look. Here it is.
Look. Took me a second to get the camera to move into right center field, or left center field. I just did it, Joe. I just did it. We were so close.
It's quite an easy mistake to make.
But you see the throw just definitely got in there in time.
The throw beat him. The tag did not.
Tag just missed it in time.
It was a great throw to give them a chance. Was that Lanning who scooped that up?
That was Lanning in center field.
Unsurprising that he has a good arm then.
Yeah. No fatigue in that arm after throwing 51 pitches as well.
If he had thrown 52, though, there might have been some extra fatigue.
Maybe you can count that as the 52nd one if you want to consider that.
All right, so the action is set to resume. Buchanan will face Noah Bolt now. Bolt, 1 for 2. Penfield with 2 outs to play with, trailing by 6. They do have the right part of the order up, Nick. You said it. Top of the lineup to begin the inning as that's lofted out towards second. And the catch is made behind the second base bag for out number 2.
Bolt just a little bit under on that one. Almost got a bloop infield single, maybe a bloop single into the outfield, but goes to the second baseman. And now Auburn 1 out away from pool play, 1-0.
It's left to Ryan Sullivan, who hits one well out to left and foul.
Look, he maybe just missed it by a few feet.
Not by much,
maybe
Nick.
A couple inches.
Not by much. We have seen a lot more off-speed pitches than I'm used to seeing from this Auburn pitching staff. That's fouled away. I don't recall seeing this many breaking balls last year from any of the pitching staffs we covered.
It was very rare. But Buchanan now maybe goes off speed again here. 0-2. Auburn's 1 strike away from victory.
And that's hit in the air, foul territory, and out of play. So Sullivan stays alive. He's 1 for 2 in this game, grounded out in the first, singled in the fourth. And he just stays alive there, Nick.
Whew. That was close. That was close, Joe.
They call that a stone-cold take. And that is lined hard through the right side for a base hit. And it gets through Smith, who lost the ball. That will allow a run to score. I think Lemuti was coming in anyway. And it's an RBI single for Ryan Sullivan.
That was a rocket into right field from Sullivan to get that 4th run of the game for Penfield. Now make this 9-4 as they look for a 2-out rally here.
Still a very long way to go to get even, but there's a chance. And that will bring up Braden Struzik. He takes outside. And Nick, looking at the score now, it just really highlights how much of a killer that first inning was for Penfield.
Yeah.
They settled down pretty well after that. And unfortunately, they put themselves in too big of a hole.
And as I mentioned earlier also, that inning where they had the bases loaded, and it was 9-3. One big swing for Penfield. You could be looking at a very different game right here in the 6th.
That bases loaded opportunity that they failed to convert on really hurt. You felt like they needed at least a run or 2 there. As that swung on and missed for strike 2. And once again, Penfield is down to their final strike.
For Buchanan, this will be his 16th pitch upcoming here.
Well, they would love to keep him under 20.
They will get it.
And that'll do it. As Bo Buchanan strikes out Braden Struzik to end game number 3 of pool play, as Auburn Little League picks up a convincing 5-run win over Penfield Little League. Our score, 9-4.
Yeah, and it really comes back to that start that Auburn got. 9 runs in the first 2 innings of this game. Cohen Ashby, had a big 3-run homer to make it 4-0 early in that first inning. They would get 3 more runs in that first, attack for 2 more in the second. But as we mentioned, a credit to Penfield in this game. They could have easily thrown in the towel and probably looked forward to tomorrow and try to bounce back from today's game. They would get 4 runs unanswered to make this a 9-4 game, but we mentioned it. That one inning where they had the bases loaded, it's an inning that they would like to have back and maybe make this game a little bit more different than the final outcome it was. But credit to Auburn and what they did also on the mound as well. Bentley Lanning, probably one of the heroes of the day for this Auburn staff, comes out of relief after Penfield got 3 runs. He held them to scoreless innings up until Bill Buchanan gave up the final run in this 6th. It's a 9-4 win for Auburn to start off pool play, and Penfield now will have to try to bounce back tomorrow.
And they will have to do so early. Now, I think I put tomorrow's schedule in my bag, but I do have a screenshot, and I'm curious to see which of these teams is going to play in the early game tomorrow. So the action gets underway at 10 a.m. tomorrow, and it is Auburn that will draw that early game tomorrow morning. So they go and play at 10 a.m. against a Plattsburgh team that is going to have to play at 8 p.m. tonight, and then again at 10 a.m. tomorrow. That's something else to keep an eye on. We get our first look at Plattsburgh Little League as they take on Harrison Little League coming up next. So until about 15 minutes ahead of our 8 o'clock scheduled first pitch, this has been Joe Foreman, joined on the call by my broadcast partner, Nick Pavona. Once again, our final score in Game 3 of pool play. Auburn Little League 9 and Penfield Little League 4. We'll see you again here on the PDF Sports Network in about 45 minutes for pool play game number 4.